Welcome to lesson number 3 of the Champions Mindset series. In the previous lesson, we talked about how to develop mental toughness and how to believe in yourself. Make sure to watch those lessons before so you get the most value out of this course. Just click the link in the description below. With that said, let's start with this lesson. In this video, you will learn how to achieve the highest levels of motivation and the biggest lie about it. Imagine that you sign up for a swimming academy that holds a competition at the end of every month. Since you're a committed and disciplined person, you train every single day to be prepared. Imagine that you show up at the day of the competition and your opponent is Michael Phelps. How motivated would you feel? Yeah, I would also want to go home. On the other hand, how motivated would you be if your opponent is a 4-year-old kid that can barely float? That would be pretty boring. But what if your opponent is a dude that's your same age, similar height, and with almost the exact same swimming skills? Personally, I would think I will beat this guy. Why did your motivation fluctuate in these 3 scenarios? The thing is that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of their current abilities. Not too easy, but also not too hard. The difficulty has to be manageable enough for you to recognize that your efforts could possibly yield a positive outcome. In the same line, for motivation to exist, there needs to be something that challenges you. If all you're doing is things that are easy for you, then it will be more difficult to be motivated. Motivation is a natural byproduct of taking baby steps and progressing towards a desired goal. Each step needs to be just a little bit more difficult that you can manage. You know you've reached this point when you experience the flow state. This state is the experience of being fully immersed in an activity. You are totally concentrated because you are using all your mental resources to manage the present difficulties. It's worth mentioning that motivation stems from the fact that there's a reward waiting for you after completing certain activities. If there's no reward waiting for you, then why would you want to be motivated? That's why it's so important to understand that motivation is the result of taking small difficult actions that lead you towards a grander and rewarding goal. Ideally, your goals in life will provide you with a reward. Achieving a goal is always done through small steps that compound over each other. Each step tends to be just a little bit more difficult than its predecessors. That's why, if you break down your exciting goals to just manageable enough actions, motivation will naturally occur. By the way, this is a course about mindset, and positive self-talk is a crucial part of it. If you want to improve your self-talk, you can get a free set of my personal affirmations with the link in the description below. That said, let's clarify the biggest misconception about motivation. People think that motivation is required to take action. Most people can't take action unless they are insanely motivated. That's why, as soon as they feel bored, they give up. Whenever you say, "I don't feel motivated," you're saying that you're bored. Learning how to deal with boredom is where successful people separate themselves from the crowd. But before teaching you about that, let me give you a tip to introduce more motivation into your actions, and it's introducing novelty. People desire novelty so much that those who are doing awesome in life wish for a change as much as those who are doing badly. Why? Because novelty is the antidote to boredom. Companies know this so well that their best habit-forming products are the ones that include some form of novelty, like porn, junk food, and alcohol. My suggestion is to find some way of introducing novelty into the things that are boring to you. Do you hate traffic? Find new music or an audiobook to listen. Has your relationship turned boring? Go to new places. Novelty is the spice of life. When something turns boring, find a way to add novelty to it. Now, let's talk about boredom. Successful people show up despite how they feel, not because of how they feel. Not everything you do contains novelty and thus will inevitably become boring at some point. This means that you will have to fall in love with boredom. Eventually, you will have to do the same thing over and over again, despite how bored you feel, because repetition is the mother of skill and achievement. I can guarantee you that if you start a new habit, a business, or a new diet, there will come a day when you will want to quit. But showing up and doing the things, despite how boring they are, is the difference between failing or succeeding. When something is important to you, you have to be willing to stick to it in any mood. It's totally okay for things to be boring, because on the other side of boredom lies everything that you are truly seeking. In the next lesson, you will learn how to get rid of your fear of failure so you can accomplish anything you want. I'll see you over there.